Hey guys, welcome back to Eric Reacts for another episode of Game of Thrones. This is Season 5, Episode 2, The House of Black and White. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to find out. So Tyrion and Varys arrived in Essos last episode, and I checked a map of the world, and it shows that King's Landing and Pentos are about as far from each other as Eyrie and Braavos. So I'm hoping Arya is not too far behind. I want to see her meet up with Jaqen and start training. But meanwhile, people will be fighting for over the hole that Tywin's death left in the kingdom. And the sparrows are a big danger too. You hear the word fanatic and your spider senses start tingling. And I'm also just curious about what will happen with Pod and Brienne now. Like, Arya's halfway around the world and they just missed Sansa. So maybe Brienne will go north because she knows Stannis is there and she needs to get her revenge for Renly still. And Daenerys is facing a new enemy, the Sons of the Harpy. They seem to be quite intimidating, and she probably needs her dragons to win this. But maybe defeating the Harpy people will let her control them a little better. Like in Pokemon, like she doesn't have enough gym badges to control Drogon. So maybe after defeating the Sons of the Harpy, she'll have a little bit better control. Anyway, guys, let's get started with this episode. Yes, Arya. Is he wearing underwear? Once the ship passes under, there's no way I'm not looking up to see what's under there. Oh, look at her little smile.
Jaqen H'ghar gave me this.
No one here by that name.
Please? But wait!
Oh no. Is this a test?
Cersei, Walder Frey, Merenchant.
I feel like they're testing her resolve. Is she thinking about throwing away? No! Oh, look at that smile. She's just smiling because of the service industry. Stop getting ideas. They're here too?
I'll have some.
Oh. He recognizes Littlefinger.
My lady.
Not a lady.
Sansa Stark.
Ready the horses.
We only have one horse.
Find more. I gave my word I would find you and protect you.
Tell her that Arya's still
Please,
alive.
Lady Brienne, you were accused of killing him.
I tried to save him.
What did happen?
Doesn't sound believable.
Why would I want somebody with your history of failure guarding Lady Sansa?
Why should you have any say in her affairs?
I
Explain.
saw you at Joffrey's wedding, bowing to the king.
Sometimes we don't have a choice.
And sometimes we do.
Damn
You
it.
should leave.
Damn. Oh, Pod's gotten better. Writing at least. Oh! Oh no. Oh no, he didn't just lose another horse. Oh no.
You're unarmed.
Oh.
Do you think she's safe with Littlefinger?
Nope. 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 Nope.
No, my lady.
Oh, it's from Dorne.
There are
With
only
a...
two like it in the world. The
Oh.
one I'm wearing, the one I gave to Marcella. Of course it's a threat.
I'm going to Dawn. And I'm bringing our daughter home.
Oh. I won't be
I
alone.
never said I was going alone.
Who's he got?
But like yellow.
Bronn?
Roses are very nice.
But he's-
definitely roses. And
he's
music
happy
I
here.
adore. She hates me. She calls me mean names, and sometimes, even still, she pulls my hair when Mother's not looking.
Yikes.
You know what I think?
We should kill her.
I think you're a good person.
Jaime Lannister.
Jamie fucking Lannister.
Oh.
Jamie?
Did her hearts go flutter? Lawless. Look at her.
Pleasure.
Look at her. Look. Oh my god.
Run along, love.
Run along, love. Aww. Oh, I like it. I like his outfit. It's really cool.
And when we return, I'm going to give you a much better girl and a much better castle.
Oh. Is he in a wheelchair?
How many of your brothers and sisters do they have to kill? Let me have her. Let me send her to Cersei. One finger at a time.
Oh god. They said he's sick, right? Oh, he was just like, should I kill her right now?
Unsullied, fear nothing. That's your problem. Someone who's forgotten fear has forgotten how to hide.
Oh.
They want to put a collar back on my neck. On all of our necks. Please, your grace. You must kill him.
It would send a message.
But the Mad King gave his enemies the justice he thought they deserved. And each time, it made him feel powerful and right. Until the very end.
There's a bug.
Yes, best be careful. You might accidentally consume some solid food.
When I agreed to come with you,
Cersei has offered a lordship to the man who brings her your head.
She ought to offer her cunt. Best part of her for the best part of me.
Wow.
How many dwarves are there in the world?
is Cersei going to kill them all?
Ah. I guess so.
Not him. Take the head.
Pardon me, Your Grace. I would take it, if you don't mind. It could prove useful for my work.
What?
Very good.
What? Okay, Qyburn. Is she hand right
the
now?
hand of the king.
No, Uncle. Clearly it would not be appropriate for a woman.
I would be willing to serve provisionally as the king's hand until he becomes
You're a
older.
good
Yeah,
little
right.
boy, Tyrell, but I don't imagine you'll have the time. The king is named Qyburn, the new master of Whisperers.
Ooh.
I must say, I cannot
Uncle
see
Kevin,
how.
in light of your position
Oh.
as commander of the Lannister armies,
Kevin
it would
Lannister.
please the king if you would serve as his master of war.
I returned to the capital to pay my respects to my brother, and to you, and to serve the king. I did not return to the capital to serve as your puppet, to watch you stack the small council with sycophants.
Snake.
Oh, it's her teaching Gilly.
S. It's an S.
Aww.
Right, very good.
The youngest Lord Commander in history, Osric Stark, was elected at the age of 10.
Whoa.
I know S.
I know
I
S.
promise.
I know
I
S.
taught Sir
Oh.
Davos and all people are terrible at learning new things.
Well, you're a wonderful teacher. Very patient.
I only said that the more time that you spend practicing, the faster you'll be able to read.
That's all right.
We're doing just fine. I'm sure you and Ostrich Stark have a lot to talk
Ostrich?
about. What do you call it in the south? What happened to your face?
Grayscale.
Grayscale.
What do you call it north of the wall? Her name's Gilly. She's nice. I'm teaching her how to read.
She's a wildling. Her father defeated her people. He executed their king for treason. They could strike at him by striking at you. You have no idea what people will do. All your books and you still don't know.
Don't like this mother.
Show too much kindness, people won't fear you. If they don't fear you, they don't follow you.
With respect, Your Grace, the free folk will never follow you, no matter what you do.
Bear Island knows no king but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. Northerners can be a bit like the free folk. Loyal to their own.
Tonight, the Night's Watch elects a new Lord Commander. Sir Alistair Thorne is going to win.
Most likely.
Unpleasant man.
Damn.
He thinks you're a traitor. What's your life going to be like here at the Wall with Thorne in command?
Unpleasant, I expect. Pledge me your service and you'll rise again as Jon Stark, Lord of Winterfell.
Ooh. Legitimizing him.
If there's
Sam.
no one else,
Sam wants to
we
say
will
something.
begin the voting. Maris.
Come on, Sam. Say something.
Each
Mr.
brother
Raymond.
will- Samuel Tarly, go on.
Sam the Slayer. Her name is Gilly. Brother Slint knows her quite well. They cowered together in the larder during the battle for the wall.
Nice!
I found him there after the battle was over, in a puddle of his own making.
Even Aemon's laughing.
Whilst he led the mission to avenge Lord Commander Mormont. Mormont himself
Yeah, that's a big
chose
one.
Jon to be his steward. He saw something in Jon, and now we've all seen it too. He's the commander we turned to when the night was darkest.
Oh, that got the loudest cheer.
Do you want to choose a man who has fought the wildlings all his life? Or a man who makes love to them?
That looks pretty even. Did the other guys get to recast their vote? Oh. Oh, wow. He cast the last vote. Oh. much better at it now instead of running after it.
That's a nice little sword. Worth 100 pigeons, a sword like that.
Is she good enough?
Nothing's worth
Yeah.
anything to dead men.
Oh.
Quickly, go!
Oh, they fear him.
You lost this.
Ah. Oh, damn. Ugh. Door's open for you. Come inside, come inside, come inside. Come on. She's entering through the black door. Is there significance to that? Versus the white door? What? He killed him? Oh, damn. I don't know that this is a good idea. Show mercy. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh, no. God. Ah. Who's here? Is that Drogon? Is he here to stay? Not here to stay. Damn. Alright, this episode, it was so nice to see Arya arriving in Braavos. Very excited to see what happens next with her, and very curious to see what a man has in store for her. Her list has gotten shorter. Cersei, Walder Frey, The Mountain, and Meryn Trant, just those four. I don't know when she would have heard of Tywin's death, but he's not on the list anymore. Polliver she killed. The Hound is presumed dead. But what happened to the Red Woman, Beric, and Thoros for their role in what happened to Gendry? And what happened to Ilyn Payne also? Also, where the heck is Gendry anyway? He's probably still rowing to King's Landing. I love that Arya's line when the men try to steal her sword. Nothing is worth anything to dead men. Oh, so good. But I'm actually pretty interested in whether or not she would have been able to take them. But the man at the door of the House of Black and White interrupts, and we find out he's actually, or he was, Jaqen H'ghar. Amanda's no one now, though, and she has to become that too. So I don't know if that means giving up her own identity like Jaqen has. The whole reason she's doing this is for revenge, so I don't know if she'd be on board for that. But I am very curious about whether or not there is significance to her entering through the Black Door. I suppose it might be something we learn about in the future, but we'll see. Back in Westeros, I thought Brienne and Pod missed their chance at Sansa last episode. I love that Sansa dyed her hair to stay hidden, but immediately gets discovered when Pod looks at her. To be fair, Cersei probably has a lot of people out there looking for redheaded girls to recapture her, but Littlefinger says he got a raven about a marriage proposal. I'm not sure who he could marry on such short notice, and I know in some cases if a marriage falls through, you marry the next person in line, with Brandon Stark falling and Ned marrying Catelyn instead. But who could he possibly have lined up for himself that quickly? So I feel like he might actually have Sansa lined up to marry somebody instead. I have that sneaking suspicion that she's being used as a pawn again. I don't know if she realized Peter kissed her purposefully in front of Lysa either. But yeah, I don't know who she could be married off to at this point. Somebody in the north somehow, or to the west, to the northwest somewhere probably. But I get why Sansa is wary of Brienne. She has no reason to really trust her, and it kind of sucks because probably going with Brienne might have been the best move for her own safety. And Littlefinger tries to have Brienne captured. I suppose she's just another variable that he doesn't want to have to account for. And yeah, when her and Pod are running away, I was just like, oh, Pod's gotten better at riding. And then he immediately loses his horse within the next minute. It's also very cool that Brienne's Valyrian blade was able to cut through the other man's sword, though. That sword is really cool. Next, we have Cersei with that threat from Dorne. Marcella's necklace in a viper's mouth. I dislike Cersei for a lot of things, but it's never nice to see someone hurting over the loss of their child. But Jaime promises to go to Dorne to rescue her and decides to take Bronn with him. But yeah, Cersei, she just gets on my nerves sometimes. She was just saying to Jaime, like, oh, what have you ever done for your children? And he's just like, oh, I'm going to go risk my life and get her back. And she's just like, oh, what are you going to do with no hand? No right hand. And I'm just like, come on, she's frustrating, to be sure. But it's hilarious when hilarious and deplorable that Bronn was already trying to get Lawless to murder her older sister, like get her on board for it. But then Jaime shows up and Lawless like immediately completely smitten. You're just like smiling so hard. And then she became so sad when Bronn sent her away. But I wanted to say Jaime's outfit is amazing though. I would love to wear something like that. I mean, I don't think it's even outdated even now. I think it would look really good. Like anybody would look really good wearing that even now. But Jaime says that Cersei revoked Bronn's betrothal to Lawless, but we didn't see them have that conversation. So it makes me feel like Jaime might have actually written that note just to manipulate Bronn into coming along. He does promise him a better castle and wife though, so yeah, I don't know. But we get to see Dorne. I think Doran is his name, pronounced Doran. Martell was in a type of wheelchair. I'm not completely sure. Oberyn did say he was sick though, or somebody said he was sick. The representatives from Dorne said he was sick at the beginning of last season. Ellaria wants to straight up kill Myrcella as revenge for Oberyn, which I understand but cannot endorse in any way. Like, Myrcella is completely innocent in this, though so was Elia and so were her children. Ellaria says she'll have the Sand Snakes take revenge. I think I remember them being mentioned before as Oberyn's children. I'm not completely sure about that though. But Ellaria seems like she'll go to any lengths for revenge. So Myrcella's in real danger now, and honestly, Ellaria saying that Doran might not be in power forever is either foreshadowing or a threat, or both. Doran's guard actually silently asks if he should kill Ellaria, and Doran shakes his head no, but it'll be interesting to see how the situation in Dorne plays out. But Jaime definitely better get to Myrcella soon if he wants to save her. And then Cersei in the capital, making trouble, appointing people to masters solely on the merit of their loyalty to her. I was wrong about Cersei appointing Qyburn as Grand Maester. Like, I predicted that would happen, but I guess that would have to mean dismissing Pycelle, and for some reason, she doesn't want to do that, even though she finds him, like, really annoying. I'm honestly quite surprised. I know Qyburn isn't currently a Maester, but surely she has the power through Tommen to reinstate him, right? Mace Tyrell is given the role of Master of Ships and Master of Coin. He was already Master of Ships before, but he gets another role. And he's so satisfied with himself, doesn't realize he's being kept around because he won't cause any trouble. But Kevin Lannister won't have any of that, though. So he's going back to Casterly Rock, and I assume he's become Lord of Casterly Rock now, though I don't know who will inherit that after him. Is Lancel Lannister his son? I haven't been sure about the lineage at all. Even if Lancel is his son, I'm guessing being a Sparrow means giving up your right to inheritance. But I love the scene with Shireen teaching Gilly how to read. I hope the rest of Shireen's story is just going around Westeros teaching people how to read. That would be so much fun. But it seems like Sam was kind of a useless teacher before all this happened. But yeah, we learned a little bit more about Grayscale. I really feel bad for Shireen being locked away by her parents. Stannis at least seems to want to treat her right, but he certainly hasn't said anything about letting her out more. If this was a happier story, Davos would eventually reveal the role she played in his learning how to read, and they'd recognize her a bit more as an asset. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And then Stannis kind of lectures Jon about killing Mance and how only ruling with fear works. It really goes back to what Viserys said in Season 1 when he was trying to walk out of the tent with those dragon eggs. What person can rule without wealth or fear or love? I feel like that's going to be... That line is just... It's stuck with me ever since Season 1, so I feel like it's important in the future. But a lot of people want to rule by fear in this episode, and this is the biggest reason I wouldn't want Stannis on the throne, even though he'd be tons better than having the Lannisters in charge. Stannis probably thinks it's necessary to rule by fear because he only inspires love and loyalty from like a select few people. Davos, obviously. But he would have inspired a lot of love if Jon was willing to accept his offer of legitimization. Jon refuses. I was kind of sad about that, but it lines up with where his character is now, and he's right that... I don't know if he's right that people would view him differently because he wouldn't keep his own word to himself. But Sam, you can see his gears turning when people were nominating people to be Lord Commander, and he nominates Jon, and Jon is scared at first. I think he thinks it'll just make things harder for him when Alistair wins. But when it was even between him and Alistair, I fully expected the person who lost, the people who cast for the person who lost, to recast their votes. I feel like that might make the most sense instead of Aemon just being like, he's like Dumbledoring it basically. Like, oh, Slytherin won. Nope, I'm going to add like 250 points to Gryffindor. Yay. I feel like that's what happened with Alistair. Or no, Alistair, no, Aemon, with Aemon. He was just like, yep, I'm voting for Jon. Yay. But yeah, back to people ruling through fear. Jon doesn't do that. So I feel like Alistair does. And it'll be a nice turn for the Night's Watch, I feel like. But on the way to Daenerys, she's trying to rule through fear too. Like she's obsessed with projecting strength and power, and it's just way too important to her. Like she shouldn't have killed someone for disobeying her. Also, just from a tactical standpoint, killing Massador in front of all of those ex-enslaved people was not a good move. Instead of being seen as someone who acts according to the will of the people, she's gonna start being seen as someone who just does what she wants. And it's what Barristan warned her about earlier in the episode, and she does it anyway. And the citizens and the old masters start rioting. None of this is good. I know it's tricky. I know Daenerys really wants to do what is right. I truly believe in her intentions. But there are really tough calls she shouldn't be making. I think she's like 21 years right now. The eye for an eye thing she did by nailing people to stakes was too much, and now this too. And back again to who can rule without wealth or fear or love. Daenerys has or had the love of people, but seems to undervalue it and believes that she needs fear as well. And I think she looks at things in terms of black and white too often, fitting for the episode title. But if we look at today's governments, like which leaders rule based on fear, I think the most well-known ones in the U.S. are Duterte, Kim Jong-un, Putin, and Trump. I also know about Bolsonaro in Brazil. Like people either fear them or these leaders use fear to pit people against one another or each other. None of them are what I would consider even okay leaders. And I get the show is in a different time period, and when Daenerys has used fear against her enemies, it's been effective, and but to use it against your own people, I don't think there's a time period where ruling your subjects through fear is sustainable, or just it doesn't lead to a compassionate society in any manner whatsoever. And she realizes she made a mistake, but I don't know if she realizes how it was a mistake just yet. But the she got, yikes. But it's put out of her mind for a bit when Drogon comes flying back. But he just flies away. I think he was just coming back to be like, oh, are you worthy? Nope, look what you just did. Find yourself, mama, then we'll come back. But yeah, I'm hoping Daenerys will learn to be a better leader. But in the meantime, I'm a little wary of her. We'll see what happens with her within the next few seasons. For this episode, I'm going to give it a 3.5. It was very interesting. Got some good action and a lot of good decisions, or interesting decisions made by a lot of characters in the storyline. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you can't wait to watch the next episode, make sure to check out the early access option on Patreon in the link in the description below or over here. I've actually got the next 3 episodes up already. All right, thanks for watching. Bye, friends, and subscribe if you haven't already.